Back to green flag racing action. You saw Rusty Wallace was the point leader a year ago, and he lost some ground in this race. It looks like Mark Martin might lose a little ground today because Earnhardt seems to have the strong hand.
Look at Earnhardt jump out to about a 10-car length lead on Morgan Shepherd just in a half lap. And Morgan Shepherd has his hands full of Kenny Schrader in the 25 car.
And right there is Ernie Irvan in the car number 4 as well. All of those drivers were able to dispense of the lap cars who were allowed to come up and make a 2-abreast start. But
now Schrader trying to sneak to the inside up there, up in turn 3. Morgan Shepherd gives him a little bit of racing room. Schrader can't quite. Now he gets the car down on the inside of the track.
Now with new tires on, he's able to get a little more traction, which he didn't get quite enough that time to make the pass, but they will be able to get a little more traction down on the inside of the track.
Ernie Irvan looks very strong. Tony Glover, Sheldon Rutt Pittman prepared car. Rutt Pittman, of course, the engine builder for the Morgan McClure racing team, has put some potent motors underneath Ernie Irvan this year.
And Ernie Irvan has quietly eased himself into 4th spot. He's not been heard from. He kind of like Bill Elliott last year. He's not been heard of until here with about 100 laps to go in 4th spot, trying to pass 3rd and 2nd.
Well, it was about 80 laps to go, Benny, when the green flag came back out. And I think most of the, according to the information that we're getting from the pits, that most of the drivers will be able to make it the rest of the way as far as fuel is concerned, excepting maybe Darrell Waltrip, who normally is the gas mileage key. He's not getting good gas mileage today. Davey Allison and Jeff Bodine not getting too good a gas mileage, according to our spotters down in the pit. So we'll see how it goes if it does go the rest of the way.
Taking a look at Earnhardt now, who has pulled about 6 car lengths on Morgan Shepherd. Then Schrader, then Ernie Irvan. Then back behind Irvan is Jeff Bodine.
Earnhardt did that the first lap, and he's able to maintain. He's been able to maintain that 6-10 car length lead that he was able to get out on that first half lap.
Front 4 cars right there. Earnhardt again. And the battle 2nd, 3rd, and 4th is now Irvan. Can't quite get it hooked up enough to get underneath. Schrader coming out of turn 4 and will try to get in going into 1. There's Mark Martin in the Folgers Ford. Been chasing the setup and the chassis adjustments on that car all afternoon. Ernie Irvan now has the move inside of Kenny Schrader in the backstretch. He should have the advantage in turn 3.
He'll drive it deep in the turn. Of course, Schrader drove his deep up on the outside as well. But Ernie seems to have the advantage coming off the turn. He does get traction and makes the pass.
We mentioned that Ernie Irvan has never won here at Phoenix International Raceway. Well, Kenny Schrader has won here 7 times in the Copper Classic. They run here in February. Remember, Mark Martin and the crew have been chasing the setup all afternoon. Let's see exactly where they are. They're getting the car a little closer, John Kernan.
Well, Jerry, like you said, they are chasing it. They weren't satisfied with it, so they put a couple of rounds of wedge in it, and then they opened up the stagger just a little bit. And I asked Steve, I said, well, is that going to fix the problem? And he said, well, we'll know in about 15 to 20 laps, but right now they're still waiting to see. And Mark is still running in the top 5, top 6, so they're satisfied with that for now.
Well, I don't know if they're satisfied because they're going to go to Atlanta with just a few-point lead if they were to stay there, but stagger. They've got to keep, because the racetrack changes. As it gets hotter or it gets cooler, the racetrack changes. And they've got to change the stagger to try to change the setup of the car. And that's one thing nice about the radial tires. Some people don't like them. As Jerry mentioned, Dale Earnhardt had problems with the radial tires that rocking him, but yet if they get to all radial tires, at least it'll be constant. Will not be able to change the stagger. As here, they're just fighting all day long. It'll drive you nuts. John Kernan, what are they doing down there with the stagger?
Well, Benny, they opened it up. What I was going to comment on is with Mark Martin, when you talked earlier about they got the 3 test days. Well, Jack Roush says they're taking 3 different cars, 1 car for each day. See which one works the best. That's the one that they will come back with. So they're going to come into Atlanta very well prepared.
And when Earnhardt found out that they were going to possibly, that Martin would be testing Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday in Atlanta, although he'll be there later in the week, Earnhardt was supposed to go deer hunting this week, but he said he'd go build him a little stand there in Atlanta on Tuesday outside of turn 2 so you can just watch what Martin's doing in their test section. And there's Earnhardt, our leader, but a lot of drivers haven't suffered haven't fared real well today. Out of race, Michael Waltrip. Bobby Hillen involved in an early crash along with Dick Trickle, who had a blown engine. Kyle Petty involved in an early crash. Rusty Wallace had an engine erupt. Mike Chase, some contact with the wall. And Gary Collins, one of the Winston West campaigners, behind the wall getting his car worked on.
And one car that was behind the wall for a long time, or in the garage area, was Harry Gant. Jerry, he is back out on the racetrack now and up in the point standings as well, so he wants to get as many points as he can today.
Harry Gant is 17th in the point standings, and he was only about 70 points behind Michael Waltrip. And with Michael having to park it because of the crash, Harry wants to try to take advantage and possibly move up a spot or two. Everybody taking advantage of every single lap they can here. Hey, remember the guy that caught the bullet in his teeth? Danny, alias Chocolate Myers. He is the gas man for Dale Earnhardt. Well, pretty rugged customer there watching, and got to be pretty pleased with what his driver is doing right now. 233 laps complete. Can Earnhardt hang on? We'll find out when we come back.
Caution of the race occurred on lap 262 when Jeff Purvis hit the wall. We rejoin the race now on lap 268 with the green flag and Dale Earnhardt still in control right here on ESPN Classic.
Man, all the figuring went out the window.
Yep, as far as that gas mileage was concerned.
Watch Schrader. Look at Schrader go. Wow, Schrader pulls up on the inside of Morgan Shepherd and takes that second spot away.
On these restarts, Schrader has been awfully strong just about every time, but he might have exerted a little bit of extra that time that we haven't seen today. But let's see what he can do with Earnhardt now.
Mark Martin showing a little bit of strength here as he moves it on the rear deck of Morgan Shepherd. Martin in 4th place. It's getting down the crunch time. Time to get a little bit serious. 270 lap mark coming up here. It'll be a little over 42 laps to go as Martin, whoa! Just trying to skid by on the inside.
Trying so hard to get inside Morgan Shepherd.
I don't think Shepherd's car is working quite as good now as it did before, fellas. Certainly, Martin's car is working better than it did before. And here's Alan Kowicki, 3 Fords there running together, trying to chase down those 2 Chevrolets out front.
That's Morgan Shepherd, Autocraft Ford, fellow Ford driver Mark Martin now being moved in on by Alan Kowicki in the Xerox Ford. 1st and 2nd place battle up front. Schrader has now reeled in Earnhardt, who has been there all afternoon. Earnhardt has owned the lead.
And here is Jeff Bodine and the car number 4 of Ernie Irvan battling for position as they move around the Chuck Bound car number 97.
Well, that caution flag was the worst thing in the world could ever happen to Ernie Irvan because he was at the tail end of the lead cars and he has to work his way through. That's for back for about 10th spot.
Bill Elliott in the car number 9 going around Dave Marcus. That's Jeff Bodine in the Budweiser car. Ernie Irvan behind him in the car number 4, the Kodak color.
You know, something we haven't mentioned this afternoon, Benny, they're beginning to have trouble seeing going into turn 1.
I've been thinking about that and about telling the viewers that the sun is set into the west, and as the drivers turn down in turn 1, they're driving straight into the sun. You're going to see from inside Brett Bodine's Quaker State Buick. This is turn 3.
Brad has lost a cylinder on his Buick. He currently is running 16th, 1 lap down.
And watch the glare as he goes down, and this is coming off turn 4. It gets worse and worse as he goes down in the corner.
Well, there is a spot that it gets very hard to see, and for more on that, let's go to the pits and Rick DeBurle.
Well, here's an example as to how bad the sun is. I move my hand up just a little bit, and I'm already blocking my face. This is what all the teams have done. This is something they do here differently than every place else. Before the car ever goes out, they go ahead and they tape the windshield quite a ways down. Some of the guys have taped it all the way down here. If you don't do that, that means later in this race, you may have to come in and make a pit stop because the driver simply cannot see. Some of the teams have actually painted the inside of the windshield just to act as sort of a massive sun visor.
And we'll go back inside, and you see on the top of the windshield that tape that they have put across there, and that Quaker State Buick for Brett Bodine, so he would be able to shield some of the glare. Now, you saw how bad it was. You can imagine if it wasn't there, how bad it would be. Now, Schrader
taking a look on the inside of Dale Earnhardt.
Now there, Morgan Shepherd. Again, his car is going much better than it was a few laps ago. And he has pulled back up on them and has pulled away a little bit from Mark Martin, who was trying to get by Shepherd not too long ago.
Dale Earnhardt's going to be saying, why did we have to have that caution flag? I just had him covered, and now here comes Kenny Schrader.
Boy, Schrader is getting off that turn 4 so strong.
Well, Schrader sees Morgan Shepherd and Martin Martin coming, and plus his spotters have told him they're coming in a hurry. He's going to try to run his car. Meanwhile, Earnhardt just simply cannot pull away like he could a little bit earlier. Well, what do they do to Kenny Schrader's car? They've obviously made some adjustment. The car is really hooked up. How about it, John Kernan?
Jerry, they didn't make a chassis adjustment. What they did is they changed the stagger. The car had gotten very loose, so they tightened it up by way of the stagger. Right now, Richard Broom has a smile on his face from ear to ear. He likes what he sees.
Richard Broom, the crew chief for Kenny Schrader, one of the most likable guys up and down pit road. There is Schrader. Last Winston Cup win coming at Charlotte, 1989, some 30 races ago. We mentioned that he has won here 7 times. He has won, of course, in the events here, the Copper Classic, 7 wins, 4 of them coming in a midget car and 3 coming in a championship dirt car, the Silver Crown Series.
13 cars still on the lead lap. Of course, there Earnhardt, Schrader, Morgan Shepherd, Mark Martin 4th, and 5th is Alan Kwick. Darrell Waltrip is 6th. Rick Mass 7th, Bill Elliott 8th, Jeff Bodine 9th, Ernie Irvin 10th, Davey Allison 11th, Greg Sachs 12th, and in 13th is the car number 1 of Terry Labonte. 1 lap down in 14th is the Terry Cook car. Dale Jarrett is 15th, and Brett Bodine 16th. And then 2 laps down in 17th is the car number 94, as we see Schrader trying to make a move again, but Sterling Marlin is 17th. And 18th is Dave Marcus. Rick Wilson is 19th.
Bill Sedgwick is 20th, and Bill Smith is 21st. So that Winston West Championship, they're still running this 1 position apart.
Both of those cars 2 laps down. West Coast drive.
Apparently Morgan Shepherd's car beginning to come into its own a little bit here as he's been able to hold the car a little bit and begin to reel in both Earnhardt and Schrader. See Mark Martin just behind Shepherd about 3 or 4 car lengths, and behind him is Alan Kowicki. They headed to turn 1. They are the 4th and 5th place car. First, second, and third place on your screen. Earnhardt, Kenny Schrader, and of course the Motorcraft Ford is the crew watching anxiously, and Morgan Shepherd can possibly reel them in. Top 5, Mark Martin and Alan Kowicki. 280 laps of 312 complete. Just 32 laps left. Don't go away. It's going to get interesting.